Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're hearing this,
We're just going to use the built-in mic.
which will not be great, but at least it's audio.
Yeah. Hopefully you can hear us this time
Mm-hmm.
because we have cool stuff to talk about. This intro is starting to feel canned. Like the first time it was like genuine, and now it's like,
what do we say? Let's repeat what we said. Okay, we went to Made on YouTube.
yes.
I went
well,
to
you
Made on
went. It
YouTube.
was awesome.
It's an event that we didn't know existed
Yes.
until I got an email inviting me to New York, and YouTube was going to pay for it. So we said, let's do this.
Yeah.
And it's where they announced new features. So on the first day, we got to hang out at the hotel with some YouTubers, and then they did a creator collective, which is kind of like a meetup party. In this case, because it was the night before the Made on YouTube event, like everyone was already there anyways. But it was really cool. You just get to hang out, talk to people, and connect with other creators. They usually invite a lot of the big creators in the area. I'm not really sure what size or like what criteria they go based off of.
They just pick.
Yeah, it's invite only, and they pick who they want to be there.
Yeah,
and it happens. And I even talked to some of the people at YouTube about maybe hosting one someday. I think that'd be really awesome.
Yeah.
And then the next day was the presentation. Are you guys hearing us? Sweet. Yes. Okay. Is it? Let us know how bad the audio is, or how good. We'll say how good.
How good?
Maybe it's great.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the next day there was like a presentation, and it reminded me of like an Apple keynote kind of thing. Feels a little canned, a little robotic, but really interesting features. It was like 90 minutes long, and since then they've posted things on YouTube about it.
Right.
But I haven't seen anything that long. It's
right. They're not like showing the whole thing. It's you're just getting the
And then the cool part was after the presentation, they had like booths set up so that we could demo the features. Not all of them, but 4 of the features we were able to demo. And engineers who worked on those features were standing by the booths, so I got to ask them questions. Oh, it was really awesome. So
nice.
Excited to answer any of your questions. Hopefully fill you guys in as much as I can.
Yeah. So in the video that we published this morning that you made, you went through all these different features, and so anybody that's already seen it, you've gotten to hear at least sort of the first pass opinion of how effective these features are, or how just useful they're going to be, I suppose. But not everybody here's probably already seen the video.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Should we do a quick run through?
Yeah, I'll mention a few of them really quick.
Or at least the ones that stand out.
That come to mind. Yeah. I have my phone. So we got the audio dubbing, was really cool.
That's cool. I'm excited for that.
And there's some other companies that do that, and I feel bad for those companies.
I know. I'm feeling bad for companies right now where it's like YouTube's like, well, we can do that.
Yeah. So at the event, I got to like maybe before going to, we should just list them all. So there's audio dubbing. There was like Dream Screen, which is AI backgrounds right now for like vertical. There was Inspiration, which kind of gives you like video and thumbnail ideas. If you're in studio, it'll show you like this thumbnail concept and title we expect to do well, and then you can go further and it'll give you a little bit of an outline. And then they had Gifts by Jules, which is sort of like a thing where you buy virtual
it's like the super thanks or super chats like in a live, except it's a little bit more vague, like how much you're giving. So but maybe, I don't know, maybe it's more fun.
It probably is, and that's that's why they say they're releasing it, because it's more interactive for viewers. And I don't know, not the thing I'm most excited about. We'll get to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess one thing is that like I've had lots of super chats over the years, and they always come in like the currency of the person that sent it. And so like sometimes it's already like I have no idea what that's worth, but it's a big number, I appreciate and so it's like, thanks. It might be like $3, but I have no idea. So
it's always a thought.
That's true. Like
it's really nice.
That's about that.
So yeah, I'm a little skeptical of how much of a cut you take.
Yeah.
I'm afraid they might start taking more of that because it's a little less obvious. Maybe they won't. I don't know. Yeah. And then there was the hype feature. That one's interesting.
Yeah.
It's almost like a like, but you only get 3 a week. So each viewer can only give 3 total a week to any creator. And then I believe you can only give hypes to videos that have been out for a week or less. So older videos you can't keep hyping. So it's almost a way to like promote new videos that are doing well. Now it seems like YouTube could use the like feature for that, but I guess the difference in this is that you have to be a little bit selective. You can't just like anything.
Right. Yeah.
And then there is a separate hype tab. So YouTube says that it is not going to affect the algorithm. It's not going to affect what's shown on the home screen, your recommendations at all. Only thing will change is if you go to this hype tab, it will show the leaderboards of the videos that have been hyped the most. They say this is also a way to kind of promote small creators because they're giving small creators a small creator bonus.
Right. So if you get
Very
hyped,
ambiguous.
it'll be maybe worth a little more than a hype for a bigger creator.
Yeah, maybe it's like a percentage kind of your audience or your views.
Yeah.
But they were super vague on what the small creator bonus is.
Yeah, they tend to be a little bit vague when it comes to like, here's how the numbers work.
Yeah.
And I kind of get that because it's like, once you know, you can game it.
Right. And we've talked to the engineers and they're always like, well, we might want to change it later. So I can't tell you.
That's true. They did say that.
It's another feature. So it makes sense if they think, oh, well, this percentage isn't great. They probably don't have to re-announce it
that's true.
every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I hope it's a big small creator bonus though. Otherwise, I don't
Right.
think it's going to work because if you have a huge channel, they're just going to
Right.
get so many more hypes. They're going to be at the top of those leaderboards unless they really give the small creators a significant bonus.
From what you said, it sounded like the goal was to help try to give exposure to smaller channels. So if it's
Right.
like, you're like, oh, I want to go check out what's maybe upcoming and or new and working out. So you go check out the hype leaderboard and start looking through there. You might encounter a small creator that might take another year to ever come across your feed. So
Right.
that's cool.
And that's exactly how they pitched it. As
Okay.
we're doing this to help small creators get discovered.
Yeah.
They acted like that was the entire purpose behind this. So it would be surprising if it was all big creators and they just left it like that.
Yeah.
Another thing I suspect, not going to get into this much, but I think it might be flooded with politics because when you think about hyping, you're not just saying, oh, I like this, I want to see more of this. You're saying, I want other people to see more of this.
Right.
And what are people going to like be most passionate about other people seeing most of the time? I don't know. Hopefully this is not just
It's going to get more political
all
content.
politics, but we'll see. Or maybe it's other things that like really resonate. If somebody
Right.
is giving some kind of message, maybe it's in a niche where the message is a little bit like uncommon, something people don't hear a lot but feel like they need to hear. And like a message about something that's healthy or like uplifting. I can
Right.
see people wanting to hype
Yeah.
that. So it could be a really lovely tab. I'm curious to see what
It'll be a mix of
happens.
like really lovely things and
Really awful.
politics.
Yeah.
Nice. That's most of them.
There's one. Big
There's
one.
the big one.
Yeah. So what I'm most excited about is they're calling it Living Room. And it's part of YouTube's like TV feature. But I think they sounded like they might actually just release it across the board on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It sounds like there's still a lot of decisions they haven't made on this one yet. But what it is it's like episodic content for YouTube. So it almost looks like Netflix in the demo they showed, where you got like all these
Here's your
seasons,
show and-
your seasons, your episodes. Really cool.
Is this just when you're watching on the TV though, like not in the app?
I believe for now it is.
Okay.
I don't know if they're going to change that though.
Okay.
I wonder if eventually, you can watch Netflix on the desktop. So would
Totally. Yeah.
would they limit it to just a TV?
I wonder if they'll get to where they're just like, you can enter that mode. I'm going into
probably.
TV mode, but it's on the computer or
Mhm.
on my phone. I want to see it in episode order and
Yeah, that's a good question.
we'll
Probably
see, I
they'll do
guess.
some betas and change it over time, but
totally.
I bet you that we'll go some direction like that.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to apply to a lot of creators. So when I talked to the engineers like the night before they weren't allowed to say what the features were, but I asked a lot of questions and they all hinted at like long form content is really important right now. And so I shouldn't say all. Not every single engineer I talked to said that.
Yeah.
But that was a common theme. And so to me, this feature really stood out as like, it's going to make a difference. And They said that it is going to affect the algorithm. Like YouTube is paying attention to who's watching on TV, who's watching on mobile. And so if you're on mobile, they're going to suggest more short form content,
Right.
even if it's a long form video. Long form videos, not just vertical. And if you're on TV, they're going to suggest longer videos. They're already doing that. And so once this episodic feature comes out, I'm sure on TV they're going to suggest a lot more of it. And Netflix has just passed up.
YouTube just
YouTube just passed up. Yeah,
just
and Disney.
A couple months ago, like #1 platform for streaming on television. So I mean, if you consider all of the other watch time on YouTube's just on TV screens, people are watching YouTube. Anything else? I was surprised by that, but I don't know. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
All right, we do have questions coming in now, so we wanted to kind of get through like. For those of you who hadn't seen them yet, but all right, let's see. We have I'm going to go back up a little bit because I think there were a couple of questions. Someone was asking when episodic content is coming. They didn't say. No. They said most of these features were probably before the end of the year, but
they said coming
historically that can mean maybe in the next year. Who knows?
Right. I'd say this one, I think they gave less detail on when it's actually coming than even some of the other features. So I think maybe it's further out. Okay. But they sounded like completely sure it's happening. So
to me, though, it seems like it's kind of good that we have lead time on this because we can start preparing our content for that. So I actually like that we have a little bit of time. And actually, I think we can get a lot of benefit from creating content with this in mind even now because so many people are watching on TV. Right. If we can do a good job with lining up like watch next.
And playlists, it applies even before this releases. So
totally,
it's kind of the direction things are going.
So this question was about the hype feature. They're saying they heard that you need 500 subs to get hyped.
Yeah.
So that just means like you can't just like publish your first video and have all your friends come hype it.
Yeah.
You've got to like have put in some work to get to that level first.
Yeah, which makes sense. I guess I wish it was a little lower than 500 subscribers. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you need at least 500, which does seem like throws a wrench in the whole small subscriber thing or small channel thing, depending on what you consider a small channel.
Right.
It's 5 to 500,000. So.
Okay, so if you have more than 500,000, you can't get hyped. No, I don't think so nobody's going to be hyping Mr. Beast. Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm doubting myself.
I remember hearing those numbers. Though.
Unless it's the small creator bonus is just between those numbers.
Oh, okay.
Keep looking at the question. I'll look at it really quick.
There wasn't any new news about Courses tab being available for smaller channels, right? I don't remember hearing anything about that.
What was it?
Any news regarding the Courses tab for smaller channels?
No.
No, they didn't
talk about that.
All right. Here we go. See, lots of comments. Appreciate the comments. But yeah, we'd love to take your questions. All right, here we go. Since long form
you can't
content,
hype a channel over 500,000. Sorry.
Okay, you can't at all.
Not at all. It's not even the small creator bonus. It's not at all. Yeah.
Gotcha. Since long form content is more important now, is it better to upload weekly 5-minute videos or monthly 20-minute videos? Ooh, if you had to decide between the two, a weekly 5-minute.
So we talked about this in a video 2 weeks ago.
Right.
What's happening is that people are experiencing a lot of decision fatigue. Make too many decisions online because they're online all day and trying to decide what to watch, and there's so much content to pick from. So that's actually kind of splitting the interest between short form and long form, because if you think about it, you're scrolling on your phone.
Yeah, with short form, it's a scrolling behavior. You're not choosing what to watch. The only decision you're making is, do I swipe away now or wait for it to play?
Very low decision. You're not picking between different things. And there's not a lot of commitment if you end up watching 60 seconds of a short. Same thing with long form. You pick once and you don't have to decide again for 30 more minutes or whatever. So it's that kind of middle content that's actually not doing as well. Right. And YouTube's kind of promoting to others.
I wonder about that because they talk about how like so much watch time is trending that direction. But what I haven't heard anybody say is that like views on that middle content are really low. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like there's still like tons of views to that content. It's just that there's more trending to the long stuff. And here's a cool thing that I see this all the time. If you get a video that gets more watch time than normal on your channel, YouTube spreads it, even if the click-through rate was lower. And so if you have a video that gets more watch time just because it was longer and was able to keep people engaged a little longer,
Mhm.
you can have a 40-minute video that still gets a 2-minute average view duration. So
It
but if
can
you
be a lower, average view percentage
right.
and still do better.
But yeah, if the watch time, exactly. If your normal average view duration is like 4.5 minutes, maybe, and you make a longer video, and so it gets 5.5 minutes, it's a shorter percentage, but because it gets more watch time, YouTube's like, oh, we like this. People watch this one longer. Let's go ahead and spread it.
Yeah.
And those videos do a lot better. And so if more people are watching this longer stuff because it's on the TV or whatever, they're having to make fewer decisions, then you get more watch time, and then YouTube spreads it more. Like it's this upward cycle.
Yeah. So what do you think? 4 or 5 minutes or 1 20-minute?
See, if it were me, what I would maybe do is if you're in a position where you have to decide sort of between the two, like I can make 20 minutes worth of content a month, but it can be really good content. What I might do is plan it so that you can make 4 or 5 minute videos and then stitch them together and publish it as a long video too. That way you can still be publishing weekly. People watch that middle content all the time. We just need to make sure that a couple things. One is that middle content should be really engaging. People, good packaging as well, so that people want to choose yours over everyone else's. Make the decision easy. And then what we also want to do is try to use all the strategies in the playbook to line up the next video for them. So once they get into one of your videos, there's another one ready for them, queued up. You've got it on the end screen, maybe a pinned comment to it. Maybe they're in a playlist together as well, like all of the strategies, so that the next video that's recommended to them is an obvious next fit from your channel. If you do that, that's where that middle length content is thriving.
Get them to make the watch next obvious and easy.
Yeah.
And YouTube likes that too. If they stay on your channel and they watch a lot of your videos one after the other, YouTube loves that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It shows that you're keeping them on the platform.
Let's see. Shorts ruined my channel. My long videos get less views now. With shorts, you have to. My thought with shorts is if you're trying to use them on a channel that has long form content, is if you create a short, the goal needs to be to promote the long form content, not to get as many views as possible on a short. Like I'm never going to try to create a viral short on a long form channel. I'm going to try to create content that intrigues people to want to watch the rest of the video.
Yeah. We've seen it work in other ways, but
that's I think the safest way.
Yes, absolutely.
See, some of the questions are like people talking to each other. So I'm like,
nice. I love that.
How long has your channel been on YouTube, and how much experience do you have on YouTube, Twitch, or just streaming period? See, I don't know, Rocket Queen, if you're asking us or other people. I've never used Twitch. I've never streamed on Twitch.
No, I watched some Twitch. My cousins are on Twitch sometimes.
Okay. I've done a ton of live streaming on YouTube. Let's see. You recommend using shorts almost like trailers for your long form content. So there's a few different ways to do it. You can use it kind of as a trailer. You can use it to highlight really engaging part. Like you can take your videos, and when you have those moments that are more engaging, you can just clip out that piece, but it doesn't have the context of the rest, but it's really engaging.
Almost like if you've seen podcasts where
they do that all the time. And
then you can see as a podcast, they didn't just sit down at that table to talk to each other for 5 seconds. Yeah. So if you really like it, you might go look for the rest. It's like hints at more, but you don't necessarily have to say, go watch. You can, but you don't necessarily have to say, go watch.
Yeah. You don't have to say that, because you can choose a video to link to, and it'll be right there, literally on the screen of the short will be a link to whatever video you chose. And so, one strategy being used is, you can clip out 10 shorts from a podcast episode or a long form video, and just put them all out there, and they all link to that one video. And some percentage of the viewers of the shorts will end up going to that video. The point is, though, that your shorts need to only really attract the kind of people that would want to watch your other content. If what you're doing is attracting a ton of people because you put out shorts that went viral, but that's like a super entertaining short, and it just doesn't, like, your long form content isn't going to appeal to the same people. Now you just brought on a bunch of dead subscribers, and that's not good for a channel. And so that's where your shorts need to at least be attracting the same kind of people that are likely to watch your other videos. The idea that people that watch shorts don't watch long form content that's not true. Like, it's not backed by the data. The people at YouTube can see what people watch and they're like, no. And I know, like, I would consider myself a long form video viewer. I totally scroll through shorts. Like, I totally do that. You just get in that mode where you don't want to make a decision, right? And you're just like, I want to be entertained for a few minutes, and then you move on. So there's a lot of us that are doing both, and shorts can be a great way to get your content discovered by people, because shorts has a lower barrier for YouTube to recommend it, I think.
I wonder how that got spread so much. The
idea,
kind of myth that people are short form viewers or long form viewers.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because, like, the demographic that uses, like, TikTok as their main social media is mostly maybe younger.
Yeah.
But sense. Like, I don't know, middle-aged people are scrolling. We're used to scrolling Facebook and stuff, and now Facebook and Instagram have all these reels too. And so, like, we're getting used to scrolling shorts.
And young people wouldn't be on YouTube if they didn't want to.
Right. Watch long form stuff.
I'm 80 years old saying young people.
Young people.
So they wouldn't.
You're a young person.
Sorry. They wouldn't be on YouTube if they only wanted to see the short form stuff that they could see on TikTok. But they're likely to also want to see that. So I think you're right. Everyone's going to get sucked into it.
Asking if we can make video on retention and watch time, keeping people watching longer. I'm having trouble keeping people watching. Not sure if it's me or my mental health content. Yeah, I think that's definitely something that we cover and that we'll continue to cover.
Yeah. Should I share what we did last night real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a process for our videos here. It's called Frame.io. We've talked about it before. And normally we use that. So Cody, who typically edits the Channel Makers videos, or Andrea, if she did, will send us a link to kind of the draft, the rough cut on Frame.io. And we'll say, like, cut this out. This is a little boring. So helpful. Now, if you're just editing your own videos, you don't have to use something like Frame.io, right? Last night, we took it a step further. We actually did finish the video last night. That went out this morning. The video that went out this morning, yeah. Normally, we're not that last minute, but we had Tanner, who works here, watch the video. And
he's younger than all of us by quite a bit. So and just a different perspective.
And he didn't help work on the video up until that point.
No, yeah, that's true.
So he had fresh eyes. He was, not too close to it. And anyways, I'm not sure how much of this will work for an individual creator, but I'm just going to tell you the whole process and the thinking behind it so you can figure out how to apply it to yourself. So anyways, he watched it, made comments the entire way through. And he's on Frame.io, and he was saying, like, this part seemed a little bit dry. This part seemed a little confusing. This was funny. This made me want to watch more. This made me bored. Things like that, right? So then we went into the conference room, and Cody, our editor, Tanner, and I watched it again, looked through his notes, pulled up the transcript that we could see, editing software that Cody was using, which I believe
he uses Premiere. So now. Adobe Premiere can just transcribe your video for you, and then you can actually use the transcript to edit it. So you can be like, cut out this sentence, and it'll cut it. And then if you need to, adjust.
And he would tweak a little bit so it sounded more natural. And it made such a difference. I think we cut out so much that I wouldn't have normally cut out just by watching it on Frame.io, because it's not as confusing when you just watch it on Frame.io or just on your editor, right? You can tell, like, that was a little heavy. This is a little boring, but it's too hard sometimes to figure out exactly what parts to cut out. When you were able to see the whole transcript, it was so easy to say, like, yeah, that's unnecessary. That's repetitive.
Yeah, I already said this. Like, oh wow, I actually said almost the exact same thing twice.
Right, and so I really love that process. I think it hopefully helped retention on this morning's video. I want to keep doing that, and any version of what I just explained, whether you're just watching it back and trying to be really picky about what you cut out, or using a transcript and cutting things that way. And I think it can still sound pretty natural. I think being natural and real is more about kind of your editing style, your presentation style. It can be a little chopped up and people won't really notice. Like, if you are really hesitant about that, I encourage you to watch the video this morning. And if you think it's way too fast and choppy, you don't have to do it like that, but you might be surprised. It's not like Mr. Beast style all over the place.
No.
You can make it a lot more concise, cut out things that are not necessary, that might draw people's attention. And the whole time we were joking because Every time we question cutting something, I just be, cut it.
Just cut it.
Yeah.
If you think maybe it should be cut,
Just cut it.
That's a hard thing when
Yeah.
you're starting on YouTube to do that, because you're like, I filmed that on purpose. That was
Right.
part of my thought in the video, but you're watching it and you're like, confused, bored, whatever. And we told him, like, be ruthless. We're like, don't be nice. Don't worry about our feelings.
Yeah.
Our feelings will be hurt more if the video doesn't perform well.
Yeah.
Please, just anytime you're bored, anytime you find yourself getting distracted, that's a good sign that maybe it's time to cut something. Let's see. Graybeard Biker says, what's the significance of the podcast category on YouTube? Seems like it's just a new tab for videos. How's it different? The biggest difference with the podcast tab is basically you make a playlist and you assign it as a podcast type playlist. So it puts the episodes in order, but then it alerts YouTube this is a podcast. Podcast videos are different on YouTube than normal videos. They don't spread in the same way. And we've seen this happen to so many channels. They get to a point where they're like, okay, well, I want to start a podcast. And so then they start mixing in podcast episodes of normal videos, and it's all just in their normal feed, and YouTube treats them the same. But if you publish a video and it doesn't perform as well with your main audience in the first few days as your normal videos do, YouTube assumes, oh, it's just not a very good video. And then they stop promoting it. They don't totally stop, but like they just assume, and they just don't show it to very many people. Well, podcast episodes in general aren't going to be watched by as much of your audience as a normal video. And so by creating that distinction with podcast content on YouTube, now YouTube can more easily differentiate. It's almost like if like all of your shorts were in the same feed and were treated exactly the same as long form. Like if you suddenly had a few shorts do really well, then all of a sudden YouTube would say, well, all these videos don't do well anymore. These ones do really well. And any normal video you published would just flop from then on out. So that's the main reason for that. Is there any way to purge stale subscribers? What are your thoughts on sometimes publishing a video with the toggle publish to transcribers turned off? Will it reach different people? I hadn't thought about that, reaching different people.
One way we like to purge subscribers is to be kind of unapologetic about things that we want to stand by anyways.
Yeah.
And then people get mad pretty quickly. And
it's actually a really great way to like strengthen the core audience you want, is to actually take a stand on things that you care about, actually have an opinion, and not try to appeal to everyone. There's not a way for you to remove subscribers. I can't go in. I can't even see most subscribers. You can only see the subscribers you have that have like, there's a privacy feature where you can make the people you've subscribed to public, and then they can see, oh, that you subscribe to them. But I can't see almost any of my subscriber list, and I certainly can't go in and purge them.
What do you think would happen if you changed your banner to say unsubscribe?
I don't know, because the problem is the only people that would see it are the people that are actively coming to your channel.
Good point.
So and that's the thing is, like, I don't think it hurts a lot to have dead subscribers. What the problem is YouTube is looking less at what percentage of your subscribers are watching your videos, and they're looking a lot more at the over time trends. So over the last few months, or even up to maybe over the last year, they'll look back at that and say, well, your normal viewers, the people that typically watch your videos, you're gaining new ones and losing people all the time. But people don't always unsubscribe. In fact, often they don't. And so if people who would normally watch your videos are now not watching your videos, then that is the sign to YouTube that this video didn't appeal to your normal audience. So it's not going to spread. I don't worry too much about having dead subscribers. Again. And so the thing I talked about with shorts, people subscribe to your channel from watching a viral short. It's not so much the fact that they subscribed, it's that they're now considered like a recent viewer, and you just got this video with 1 million views on it, and your channel normally does 500. That's where you have a problem. It's not really because they subscribed.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a way to actually get rid of more people. I mean, you could mention in a pinned comment, but yeah, I mean, that's a good point. It doesn't probably matter that much.
Hey, Daniel's here. Hey, Daniel. Daniel says, I found that making shorts that are not repurposed, but original content that's specifically designed as a series to get them to watch more shorts for me has been incredibly effective. I think that's a great idea. Like deliberately making shorts. Again, I stand by, and I think you would agree with this probably, but I stand by the idea that it needs to appeal to the same people that you're trying to attract for your main channel. But I love that. Like, dedicated shorts content will do better than repurposed content. Dedicated content in general will do better than repurposed content. It's just, you have to deal with the limitations you have. But I love that. Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate you sharing that. Rocket Queen 71 is asking us how much experience we have since we're called channel makers.
Oh.
I've been on YouTube for 9 years. Monetized 8 channels now. Have built 3 to over 100,000 subscribers. Actually, all of them have over 200,000 subscribers. And we've been doing this full time for a very long time. Amongst the rest of the team, we have many, many years of experience on YouTube.
What was the biggest channel? So Backfire, when you worked on it.
Yeah.
So
we got that one to, it was just shy of 100,000 subscribers when that one we divested. So I had a partner, and he'd been on YouTube even long before me. So he'd been doing YouTube for a few years before that. I had a business partner. We started channel Backfire, got it. That was our fastest growing channel ever. We were just shy of 100,000 subscribers when he left here, and that was part of the deal. He took that channel with him. That channel is at about 900,000 subscribers today. So we went from 100 to 900,000 in the last 3 years.
Awesome. I've been on YouTube for about 4 years.
Right.
Total, not publishing consistently that whole time. I'm doing it every single day here for the last 2.5 years, I believe.
And Nathan's been involved in, let's see, 4-ish years ago. We really went hard on YouTube here at Income School at our company. This was when my partner was still here, and Nathan was here at that time too. And basically almost every day we were working hard on YouTube. We started new channels just to experiment and learn. And so we worked together on our filming and editing skills. We worked together on learning how to film more in more cinematic ways, which was fun. And then after Jim left, we hired Cody, and he knows way more than any of us about cinematography and videography.
Yeah.
So amongst this team, tons of experience. Cody's got experience with animation. Andrea, who was the first real video person we hired, she brought a ton to the table at that time too, and she's still here.
Their resumes are crazy.
It's crazy.
Andrea's worked with some really impressive photographers and trained by some really impressive photographers. Cody, I mean, he didn't just like play with animation. A lot of people play with animation. He worked on a cartoon, a cartoon that was on TV. And then he's also like great at making realistic short films, and everyone's pretty
all
awesome.
about that.
As far as I think you asked about our experience on like Instagram and Twitch. None. If I tell you something about Instagram, you can just ignore it completely.
Instagram, like I know how to post, but I would not consider myself an Instagram strategist.
Andrea is our best person for that.
That's true. She's great. Let's see. Lewis says content's in Spanish, has doubts on the dubbing feature because it changes the voice, but all the on-screen content's in Spanish. Would you recommend dubbing or make a second channel in English? I don't know that I would do a second channel. I think the way that dubbing is going, I would just do that, because then it's all on the same channel.
Yeah.
You get the benefit of the audience across languages.
Yeah. So with the dubbing feature, when I played with it, that YouTube is hopefully releasing by the end of the year, they sounded very confident on that one. I was able to change it in real time. So, people could go back and forth, and they really had like everything sounding believable. It was pretty cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play with it because I speak Portuguese too. And so I'm excited to like hear what it tries to do with my voice and inflection and everything.
Yeah.
in Portuguese, and then
It's interesting.
I think it'd be funny.
They really had the inflection.
It
pretty
sounded
It wasn't
really good in the
perfect, but
demo. Yeah,
yeah.
it sounded pretty good in the demo.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what you think when you use it. Right now they have, well, they were saying they just have Spanish and Portuguese
Right.
at the event. But then if you watch the content that they published the day after, they said they also have French and was it
Italian?
Italian. You're
I
right.
think
It was Italian. I mean, it's all in beta, but I guess
Right.
they expect to have those two by the time they release it. So they said they have those two as well. I don't
Now,
know.
today there are third-party dubbing solutions that use AI to dub for you in a similar way. I've never used that on YouTube. If you do that today, can you dub like and have multiple language versions on the same channel? Do you know? Like could you have it like the same video be able to toggle between languages?
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
So if you were to record the same audio in English but use the same video and upload that like as an audio track, like as a normal dubbing track, that would probably work, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So like
and it can go both ways. So you can
right.
Yeah.
So if you're bilingual and you're making your content in Spanish, you could go and just record, like basically dub it yourself instead of using AI.
I suppose so.
If you really don't like how the AI inflection works.
I
would do that. Oh, it would be a lot of work, but I would do that instead of just remaking the same video twice.
Yeah.
That feels like more work. And then you wouldn't get the benefit of it all being the same video.
Right.
And so getting the views. I don't know. I've never played with that though. Like I wouldn't know how to do that. I have to go figure it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, Daniel Patal was at the event as well.
Yeah.
He's in the chat. So
yep.
Feel free to jump in here.
Yeah.
Any of your thoughts, Daniel?
So follow up on podcasting. If you're running a weekly podcast that's distributed on the usual podcast platforms that also has video using the YouTube podcast feature. Yeah. So we do that. We have our podcast creator files. We record video with it. It goes out on all the normal podcast platforms, but we also publish the video to YouTube. Now that channel is just the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's because it is just a dedicated podcast, but we could publish normal short videos. Well, no, we do YouTube shorts, don't we? I think Andrea clips shorts from it.
Yeah.
And it's on the same channel.
But it's just still podcast format. We don't make dedicated shorts on there.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Rocket Queen. I'm glad you're here. New subscriber. We have a new subscriber.
Oh, lovely.
All right. Waves and Game says, did you learn Portuguese within a 2-year period? Yes, I did. Correct. I learned it in a very immersive 2-year period. Someone knows something. Let's see. About 40% of my audience, this is from Data Ray, about 40% of my audience is non-native English speaking. I like to use music to enhance storytelling, but I'm concerned it might screw with the translation tools. Do you have experience with that? With the dubbing? Is music going to...
Good question.
I wonder because like YouTube has the AI feature to be able to remove, like if you have copyright infringing music in your video accidentally, like it'll remove it. You can have, and so I wonder if the AI will be able to separate the voice and the music track well enough and then dub.
I could ask.
I think we should ask the engineers. I would love to know if they've thought through that. Because that does seem like an important thing if it's gonna throw it all off.
Right. That's a really good question. It probably can just distinguish it. My guess is that it would just keep it in the original language. It can distinguish that it's a music track.
Right.
But good question. I'll ask about that.
Yeah. It would be funny if it started like dubbing the song. That would be messed up. It wouldn't work very well, I don't think. All right. Let's see. I think I mostly caught up on the questions. I think we're caught up to where y'all are. Unless I missed some. Sorry. Oh, here. Is there a significance to the 14th day after video has been published when it comes to YouTube promoting a video?
Algorithm-wise, I would say no. Probably what's happening is if your audience is used to you publishing on a certain day of the week, or if they're just more active on a certain day of the week, then I would think you would maybe see a bump at the 7th day too. And then the 14th day, you might see a bump for that reason. What do you think?
I totally agree. I don't think that the YouTube algorithm has any time. Like I would say that with complete confidence because I've worked on so many channels from brand new to much bigger channels. And once you start to have kind of a dedicated viewer base, then your publishing day every week is going to get a big spike and it'll taper from there. And then sometimes you'll get a video take off and it'll kind of raise the whole baseline of views on your channel, right? But when you have a brand new channel and you don't have a dedicated viewership, you publish a new video, you don't get spikes, and it can take a week, and then the video starts to take off. Like, I don't think there's anything where YouTube's like, well, this video is 14 days old. Let's give it a try here. It's literally just experimenting with those videos for the audience. And I think it was really helpful for me when somebody framed it. I think it was just in the last year that I started thinking this way. It's not so much YouTube is taking your videos and experimenting to push them out. YouTube doesn't care so much about like my channel and what my videos do. What they're caring about is each individual viewer and matching the viewer with the videos that they think the viewer wants. It's the viewer experience that matters, right? And so YouTube is going to experiment with your videos, but mostly because they're experimenting for the benefit of the viewers. They're pulling for the viewers, not pushing from your channel, if that makes sense. I think that, I don't know, kind of helped me think of
like if you had a personal shopper and they're saying, do you like this shirt?
Yeah.
I think you like this dress. Right. You like pink.
They're pushing the brand for you. It's like,
yeah, but they're not doing it for the company. They're not going to, I don't know, Nordstrom being like, well, we want to push more of this dress. So who wants it? That's
exactly it. It's not that they're saying we're trying to push this brand. It's more like, hey, based on your shopping behavior, I've noticed you like this kind of thing. What do you think of this shirt? It's based on the viewer behavior. So anyway, I don't think they're looking at all at the age of your video and deciding, oh, let's give it a push here or there. It's just comes down to the video and matching it to viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also see sometimes weird, like the video suddenly picks up and it's been 9 months since you published it.
It can be so weird. I'm trying to think of any other reason. If you were publishing every 2 weeks, that could affect it too.
Yeah.
Like if people are seeing your new video because you just published that day or maybe the day before, they might also be like, oh, I wonder what else is on this channel. There's a lot of like more natural reasons that could be happening, but
it can also work the other way. It can be like you have a video and it's going fine, and then especially if you're like dedicated viewers, don't watch it all like on the first day or two, and then once you publish your next video, that one kind of dies because now your regular viewers want to see the newest thing, and so that's the problem with sometimes publishing too frequently. Is you publish a video and then you publish a new one 2 days later. And it can cannibalize the views from that one because all of your more dedicated viewers are going to choose the newest one over when it's a couple days old. So
do we have more questions?
I
have questions for you guys, if not.
Oh, okay, cool. Arizona Jeep Adventures wants tomorrow's winning lottery numbers.
Oh. I have to think about that one.
I don't know. Maybe Cody could help us with that. I wonder, One Strange Journey says, I wonder if this dubbing feature will water down our viewers. Will new videos from other countries now be pushed on us? Will our videos get pushed out to other countries instead where the ad revenue is lower? I think all it does is it opens up a broader audience. But like you said, it means that it also invites in like English speaking people will now be able to watch videos that were made by non-English speaking people. I don't think it's going to have it's not going to dramatically increase competition.
They touched on this at Made on YouTube, and I feel really bad. I don't remember what they said about it. It sounded like they said, oh no, they're not going to mix much, but how could they not? Like that'll start to happen, wouldn't it?
There will definitely be some crossover. So, but as much as the competition increases, so will your exposure to other audiences. But you also pointed out that like ad revenue for viewership in the US is more than a lot of other countries. And so will you make less money off those views? Probably. So it'll be a mix of things.
I think they said they're not going to push them. They're not going to push videos that are not in your language.
Okay.
So maybe it's more for like search, or if you're subscribed to a channel and you just want to watch.
Yeah.
I imagine that could change, but I'm sorry. I wish I remember more details. There was so much that weekend, but they did talk about that and they're reassuring us. Don't worry about that for some reason.
Waves and Games says that they noticed in their last video, day 1 went to their standard audience, but at about day 3, they started getting comments from viewers they'd never seen. Exactly.
Cool.
Jason the artist joined. What's the new feature? There's a bunch of them. Sorry, but you can watch the video we published this morning.
Yeah.
It's a great rundown of all of the new features from someone who was there. So
for anyone who's just jumping on or has jumped on since, it looks like we've got more than the beginning for sure. Made on YouTube is an annual event where they announce a bunch of YouTube features. I went and played with some of the features, talked to the engineers. I talk a little bit about it in the video this morning, but the video we published this morning was meant to mostly be like a news video, just kind of telling you what they said, not a ton of opinion. There's a little bit of opinion. We are going to make more content about how to use these features as they release. And for one feature in particular, the episodic feature, where it's almost like Netflix on YouTube, we're going to start with that because a lot of our 2025 strategy is going to be centered around that. And we want to prep for that before it even releases. Other things like hype, I don't know how much we're going to actually prep for that. So yeah, you could also watch the beginning of this live where we talk about the features again. Yep. YouTube also has content about it, much more brief than what was at the actual live show.
Yeah.
But they've got like blog posts and a couple short videos on it.
Also, they gave us little like
I know, I'm not
right?
wearing mine today. Mine's more red, pink.
Cool. Thanks, YouTube.
Very nice. I know somebody went through the trouble to
make like it says channel makers on it. You're not gonna be able to see that, but it's little.
That's pretty great. And they gave us 3 of them.
I know. Like that was perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll take another question here, and then you said you had some questions. So
yeah,
this one I think is a good question. How should a channel that's amassed 10,000 or more subs off of remixing other content, how should they introduce themselves as a personality? That's a channel pivot.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah. That's one of the few channel pivots though. Like a lot of channel pivots, you're better off making a new channel. And I talked to the engineers about that a bit too. With this one, I would say probably not. Probably keep the same channel. But I wonder if my first thought is, could you make content about kind of what it was about that other content that resonated with you? I don't know what kind of content it was, if it was comedy or about some kind of interesting topic, but if you kind of lead with, this is why I like it, even if you're not saying that directly, but that's kind of the thought behind the content you're making. What do you think?
I think just along those lines, I could see, I mean, if you've been, again, remixing other content, do you just kind of now go into maybe reaction content? So now you're still, the people that are used to watching your channel are still going to get similar content to what they saw, but now you're going to introduce yourself as someone who reacts to it. Like I could, that could be one way maybe to go about it. It kind of depends on what type of content you are remixing.
That's a good idea.
And the direction you want to go with your channel. Like, do you want to suddenly start making completely fresh, totally different content? You know, or is it like you've been remixing other people's YouTube content on a certain topic and now you want to start making your own on the same topic? That might not be a super hard pivot either, because it's the same information that they're used to hearing. So you just need to think about where you are, what that audience comes to your channel for, what is it that you want to turn it into, and then how do I just keep appealing to those people? And if you're going to do a pivot, there's 2 ways that we teach. You can sort of slowly kind of make a turn like that if it's not too big of a change. But if you're going to make a change that looks really different, then you just 100%, you make a turn. This is what this channel is now. If you don't like it, that's fine. Please leave quickly so that you stop messing up my numbers as soon as possible. And then you move forward with the new channel. It's
gonna be a long road, but it'll
pivots are hard, but
I think it's a great pivot to make though. Your channel will be much more yours if you're on it, and it'll just take time. What else?
Do you have to give credit to the creator if you're reviewing their content? So there's, I mean, if I'm making a video and I'm like reviewing somebody else's thing, I'm going to say who they are. So, I mean, that's giving credit, but there is fair use. So if you're not showing their content in its entirety and you're giving commentary on it, you're adding your own thoughts or your own creativity to it, then there, if you do enough of that stuff and you're showing a small enough percentage of their content, you're totally fine from a legal standpoint. YouTube will be fine with it too. Falls under fair use. Like, it's totally fine. We should probably make a video at some point about fair use. We used to have one a long time ago.
A lot of questions on that.
That'd be a good thing to cover.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you have questions, you said?
Oh, yeah. I'm just curious what you guys' overall kind of attitude towards YouTube is right now. Like, are you feeling excited, discouraged, happy they're making new features, wish they would stop making new features? Just curious about the general. I mean, keep going with like specific questions too, but I would love to know your general mood, your feeling about how things are going for you. It'll be good to know.
Database says new features overload. This was a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I was really surprised. I figured there'd be like a couple things maybe.
Yeah. And so I talked to some people who were there last year. They've only been doing this a couple years. And the people there last year said that, they were exaggerating. They said that about half of the things they announced last year, I think Daniel was there last year. If he's still on here, he might know. They said that about half the features they released last year never ever came out, and they just kind of stopped talking about them. So we might not get all of these.
Right.
Although a lot of them seem pretty far along. Like, we got to
Right.
test the beta versions, and I don't know. So we might not get them all. We also will probably get them more gradually. I don't think they're all going to come out on the same day, but there's a lot of new features.
Yep.
It's interesting that they're doing so many new things.
Comment here. Waves and games mostly lost on how these new features are going to really impact your workflow. Most of them, I don't think they really will.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk much about communities. I could see that if it takes off. But basically, communities is like you have a post wall where other people can come and post in your community, like a forum, like Discord, whatever. They can post and comment and stuff, not just on a video, but on your community. Interesting. It could be great if people start using this and you could have more direct interaction. Well, I would love to see a private messaging within YouTube to be able to just PM another YouTuber, or anyway, rather than like, oh, they didn't put their email address on here. Now I can't contact them. What anyway.
Yeah.
But the episodic thing, that's probably the one that will impact our workflow the most, mostly because we're going to start, as we plan videos, we're going to be thinking more about kind of what could come next, even if we don't publish them in order. But we're going to be thinking a lot about, okay, we make this video, but where would we send them next, and structuring them in an order. You can do that today in playlists. You can do that today with the way you link between videos and try to get people to watch the next one next.
And I think it's really important to do that even now.
Yes.
Like, even if this feature never came out, we know that YouTube prioritizes people staying on the same channel. We know YouTube wants longer watch time on your channel. So we kind of know that that's a good thing. We know people are getting tired of making decisions, so they want to be told what to watch next more.
Yeah.
And they're watching on TV more. And so even if that feature isn't on the TV, this is something we should start doing now, whether this feature comes out or not. And I'm pretty darn sure it's coming out. Another thing I forgot to talk about, I talked about in the video, but is AI music.
Oh, yeah.
So that was pretty fun. I got to play with that too. And they'll have like different genres that you got to cycle between. And it'll make some AI music for your channel. And it does take into account what your video is about. So that could be something to be completely game changing, but it could be cool. And then the VO, I can see that kind of changing the overall climate of YouTube a lot. Not that any of you would have to use it. And in fact, you might be in an advantage if you didn't. Because I can imagine if everyone else is using these AI backgrounds and it just looks really jarring. And I just think people will get tired of it if it's not done well. And so if you're doing things well, I mean, it was so funny because at the event, like, they had this whole beautiful trailer announcing VO. And so the trailer is like this guy in his office, and it's very cinematic, and he's like, trying to come up with a video idea, and he's crumpling papers and, up all night, and it looked amazing. And then all of a sudden they announce VO. With that, they're like, oh, you're creator, you're tired, we're helping you kind of feel that was the point of the message, saving you time. And then it like shows this AI stuff and it doesn't look good. And it's funny because the trailer was so cinematic that it just makes you think, I want more of that.
Yeah,
I don't
right?
want this. But
I'm interested, like, again, I'm just, I guess I'm just old, but like, I really think that, like, there's a lot of cool stuff with AI, and there's a lot of really like useful features, and some of this stuff, like being able to dub and have it sound like me and have reasonable inflection that mostly
Yeah.
sounds like me. That's going to be super cool, and allow more people to be able to reach more people, right? Like really, really cool, right? But there's a point where it's like you can use AI to create your content and do things that, and maybe even make it really easy. Have these cool backgrounds and stuff like that. But like at some point, a lot of people are just gonna want to. They're just gonna be starving for like real stuff.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think so.
And so, anyway, I think we have to strike the right balance. There's a lot of novelty in it, and if you're in that industry and you can be on the forefront of it, you can always like have a really successful business, like staying on the forefront of the new stuff. Do that. But I think what's going to happen is you got the people that are on the forefront that are influencing everybody else, and a lot of them are probably going to use these things really well. And then there's all the people who kind of follow along behind, and a lot of them are going to use it really poorly. and then there will be a whole bunch of audience that's like, okay, but now I just kind of want real. So
Someone says, didn't YouTube used to have messaging?
I think they did at one point. I don't remember it being around that long.
I wonder if people felt like they were getting just too many messages from, it could have been spammy or.
And I could imagine, like, if you have a big channel
Yeah.
and you're just getting inundated with fan messages all the time.
It'd be cool if you could have maybe like a limit to how many
Right.
subs you'd want, like nobody under 1,000 subs, so that you could collaborate with other creators without
Right.
getting a bunch of. And with,
Yeah.
I mean, with the spam and comments, people that are actually running scams,
Oh, yeah.
I can imagine it would be really bad in the DMs. So
What I want to see, so we haven't even mentioned this at all, but for those of you, by the way, if you signed up for the waitlist for Spotter Studio, and like it's live now, you can go get your free trial. There's a link in the description for this live right now, and we can get you a 60-day free trial, which is pretty awesome. It's the longest free trial they're giving, so you can go try it out for free for 60 days. But I want Spotter to give me that feature, like.
yeah,
Spotter's connected to your YouTube account and everything, and like it's tied into your Google. And
is your
I
niche.
want to be able to opt in and say, I am willing to receive messages, and then maybe be able to create filters from other creators of at least this size or in these genres or whatever. Or like, I'm willing to receive messages, but I only want them from these specific creators or whatever. Like, I think Spotter could do that. And then we could DM, and it wouldn't be within YouTube.
Yeah.
But it would like.
Or it could be anyone in Spotter, and anyone that's
Right.
paid for a Spotter account or even signed up for the free trial.
Right.
They're just less likely to be spam.
So. But like, I think that could facilitate collaborations so much better than like, I mean, right now, like we can do it. A lot of other YouTubers, they'll have other social presence. And so you can find them and get connected. But there are times where it's like, I'll find a message from someone and it came to my LinkedIn, and it's like, oh, well, it's really lucky that I checked my LinkedIn. That's what happened when Peter Hollins, when he reached out to me about Spotter the first time, I happened to notice the email in the promotions folder in my Gmail that I got somebody that requested or that sent me a message on LinkedIn. And I'll go months without checking those. And so it was like, oh, hey, dude, Peter Hollins is reaching out to me. Like, I wonder what he has to say, And so I'm really glad I checked it. Anyway, so.
And with Spotter, they're already showing you similar channels.
Right.
Like they're reminding you of similar channels your niche all the time.
Mm-hmm.
With the competitive analysis, but it could be so collaborative. Have you asked them about that? Run that idea by
I don't remember if I told them about that idea. I've given them a few others, but I'm going to send them that one because I would love that. And it could just be totally like opt-in. Like, no, I don't want to receive messages. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like, toggle switch on. I'm open to collaboration, and then maybe some filters. I want that. I want that feature. It could be right on YouTube. I watch Spotter's going to build it, and then YouTube's going to just add it. That's what they keep doing to people.
It would be different though. That's something YouTube couldn't replicate or couldn't completely replicate.
Yeah, because there's already sort of a barrier to entry because you're only going to get spotter
Yeah.
if you have a channel, not just if you're a fan.
Yeah.
What is spotter? And what do you think about posting content on LinkedIn? Is it like, okay, I'll answer the spotter question and then I'll come back to the LinkedIn one. So spotter, Spotter's a company, they've been around for a bit. They do some other stuff, but the thing that they just launched is Spotter Studio. And essentially it's like, it's an ideation, it's an AI-based ideation tool. So if I can have nothing, like no concept for a video. I need a video. It'll look at, because it's connected to your YouTube account, and it'll look at all the channels that people that watch your channel are also watching, and look for the videos from those channels that are outperforming for that channel, which can be just a good sign of a good topic or a good video, right? You can also pick certain channels you want that you're trying to emulate and follow those. And so it'll show you these trends, right? And so you could pick a video and be like, oh, let's use this one as inspiration, or let's use these 3 as inspiration. Or you can go into it with like, oh, I have an idea. Here's my concept, and type it in. But then you can have it brainstorm the video concept, and it'll just like explode it out to, here's 6 variations of that. And then you can make tweaks to some of those and explode it further or whatever.
The explode thing is cool.
I love that because it's just like, boom, here's 6. And you're like, I don't like those. Give me more, 6 more.
And you can tweak it really easily. You can say this, but, or it gives you all these options of like ways to tweak it a little bit so it gets to be more what you want. Yeah, that's cool.
And then you can have it, and really you can do these in any order, but you can have it do the same thing with titles. So it'll just give you tons of ideas of titles. And it'll even try to like pick words. And I don't think that Studio yet quite has the feature, but they've got it in, it'll be there soon, where it'll highlight words that are like, they call them power words.
Mm-hmm.
And these are words that like titles with these words perform better on YouTube.
So it's got tons of
data,
but it helps.
Use your brain, but it's an idea tool, and it'll do the same thing for thumbnails. So it'll give you AI created thumbnail like ideas, like almost not quite good enough that you would use that as your thumbnail. And that's not the point. The point is to give you the ideas, but
you're just building out a whole video in this platform,
right?
With you get all these title ideas and then thumbnail ideas, and it understands the different parts. So you can put your outline in, and it'll understand that when it's giving you thumbnail suggestions, and then it'll take your title into account, and it'll take your outline into account. Well, whatever bullet points, you could have 1 sentence of your video idea, or you could have an entire page of notes that you post in, and then it'll give you these story beats that it is based off of what you already gave it for your outline. So it's really keeping track of what your video is about and helping you build out the whole thing.
Right. Once you create one thing and kind of pick what you want, then everything else you do is based off of that.
Yeah. I love using it.
I love that idea workflow part where it's like, it gives you the story beats. What that's done is it's dramatically sped up my planning process, but then it's helped me think of even like talking head videos more in a story format and give kind of an arc to it and have kind of you're building to a climax, and
it gives great suggestions because we can sit here and be like, yeah, we know talking head videos should also have a bit of a story arc.
I was kind of stuck.
Yeah, it's exhausting after a while, but then Spotter's like, oh, here's a story arc. And it's not just giving you the same story arc for every talking head video. It's like, okay, you went to New York for this event. Here are, some specific things of like, this could be an interesting, maybe you were skeptical at first, and then you talked to other engineers and your mind was changed. Like, yeah, maybe I was. I'm not going to make the video if that's not what's true, but it makes you think about pulling the story out of what happened or whatever content you're making.
Yep.
That's great.
Turning Julia into Casey Neistat. Okay, so the question here, what do you think about posting video content onto LinkedIn? What do you think?
I've heard a member of Project 24 has had great success with it.
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn obsessed.
Yeah.
I think it depends a lot on your type of content, probably. It's not something we've actually done a lot of, but I'm sure it could work well. I think people have success on LinkedIn, but
Andrea's starting to publish more of our stuff on LinkedIn, more of our videos. Although I think right now she's mostly just embedding YouTube videos. If you're going to do that, if you're going to publish your video content on other platforms, if you embed the YouTube video, great, because you get the views on your YouTube channel, so it strengthens the YouTube channel. But the other platforms don't show it as much. So typically, if what you're doing is trying to grow your brand across different platforms, it's better to natively upload the video to that platform. So upload the same video you uploaded to YouTube, upload it directly to LinkedIn. Same thing, you can, if you have written content, if you do a blog or whatever, you can take, you could use AI to help you make a summary of that blog, or you could publish the whole post. But instead of just linking to the post and being like, look, I wrote the blog post about this thing, you actually like post the content, the actual text, as a post on LinkedIn. So yeah, same thing, video, but you just post it right there natively. And some people are finding great success, but it's totally going to depend on the kind of content you make and if it resonates with that audience.
Yeah, I've heard of, I don't know, I haven't used LinkedIn nearly enough, but it sounds like one of the cool platforms. You know, a lot of them I don't know if they're worth the time, or I just feel like they just add noise to the internet. But LinkedIn sounds like one. It feels like YouTube, or like maybe there's some decent value here. What else?
There's questions about like a Spotter like vidIQ or TubeBuddy, or what do we think about?
Someone asked the cost of keeping Spotter. Do you remember it?
Yeah, so Spotter, if after the free trial, if you pay monthly, it's like $49. If you pay annually, it comes out to like $24 a month. So if you pay for a year, then you get it for literally 50% off. And at 24-ish a month, that's pretty good.
Do you know if you have to put in your credit card to sign up for the free trial? I don't think you do.
No.
Yeah.
You didn't have to put in your credit card. You just have to connect it to the
channel.
Google account that's tied to your YouTube channel. That way, because it has to connect, otherwise the tool doesn't.
I like that though, because then if I sign up for something and I don't love it, I don't have to remember to cancel it. It just, you're not going to get charged.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't put in your credit card. You don't say like, oh yeah, in 60 days, they're going to bill me.
Yeah. I think most of you would benefit for that price. I mean, I don't know what your budget is for your YouTube channel, but I think it's well worth it for a lot of people to continue paying. However, I also think you will learn a lot from it.
Yeah.
So even if you guaranteed are not going to keep paying for it, I would suggest you still do the free trial so that you can learn from it and then kind of keep using those techniques even after you stop using Spotter, if you choose to do that.
Yeah. You'll get better at the storytelling and thinking of your video and all those pieces. You'll get better at titles and thumbnails. So one of the best things you can do, I think, is massive ideation. We learned a ton about this.
Oh man.
And it's just so good because we got to have dinner with the guy who wrote the book on ideas.
Jeremy
Utley from the Stanford D School, where literally like that's where ideas come from. It's that school. Got a great book, Idea Flow.
Yeah.
That we each got a copy of. I don't know why we didn't have him sign them before he left.
Oh.
Like we were literally eating dinner with him and had the books there. But super cool.
So interesting, so inspiring.
And he was at the dinner because literally the people at Spotter are trying to take all of those concepts that they're using and basically build the tool around that to help you with the kind of ideation that is needed for really good creativity.
Yeah. They love the book. They're basing Spotter kind of off of that concept. So then they invited Jeremy to probably collaborate with them a little bit. I'm not sure how much he worked with them directly, but he was at the dinner and we've been reading the book. I haven't actually finished it yet, but I've been doing these idea flows now every day and I even finished the book. So definitely biased because we talked to him and he was so cool.
Yeah, that's true.
And it makes me realize just again how important Spotter is, because when he convinces you in the book of how important it is to have a lot of ideas, then you use Spotter and you're like, oh yeah, I can see why this is really helpful. So awesome. Yeah, it's a good one. What does Daniel say?
Daniel just points out that posting to other social media only makes sense if it's a platform where your audience exists. 100% agree. It doesn't do you any good to post onto a platform where the people that you're targeting, like a lot of content that a lot of us are making probably doesn't make sense on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is very business focused.
Right.
Professional. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of professional fields that maybe not necessarily business, but it's not
Still,
gonna work.
it's a career-oriented social media platform.
Yeah, that's
So,
it. I've been to 2 Google events and nothing ever came out of it. I was at the first one for Google.
Google
waste of
Plus.
time. Oh, Google.
Yeah. Google Plus.
So you mean you just didn't see any value in the event itself, or do you mean they didn't actually follow through on what they announced? I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Do we recommend vidIQ?
So we have a video about that. You covered vidIQ, right?
Yeah, we were affiliates for them. Technically, we still are, but we would actually make dedicated videos for vidIQ for a long time.
Right.
We don't anymore because I think our contract, like, we fulfilled our contract, and then we noticed that we didn't continue to use it very much.
We weren't using it, yeah.
And we don't want to promote something that's, especially something paid, that I mean, the free version I would recommend for sure.
Yeah.
Same with free version of TubeBuddy. And TubeBuddy sounds like they're making a lot of changes, so I'm curious to see where that goes. But we didn't use it. I mean, you could try it and decide for yourself, but it was something we just didn't want to push anymore.
That's where I'm at. Is they've got the free version, and it gives you basically everything that I would use on vidIQ. I can do for free. TubeBuddy, the one feature they have that's not free that I'll sometimes pay for is the being able to make mass changes to your video descriptions.
That's really nice when you have a lot of videos.
Yeah, when hundreds of videos on my other channel. That's really nice. And so sometimes I'll pay for a month and use that. But other than that, right now, the free version does enough.
I need to test their A/B tester because people kept asking for that.
Right.
After we came out with the YouTube's A/B tester video, and we said we were going to do it, and we didn't do it.
That's true.
We need to work on
We'll have to try that one.
Yeah.
But is Spotter like them? Spotter's a totally different tool.
Yeah, not the same at all.
The ideation that you get for video ideas or thumbnails and or titles and stuff from those tools is very, very, very basic, and the ideas aren't even that good compared to Spotter. I think just Spotter is next level, taking advantage of the latest in AI technology. I haven't really noticed any changes in vidIQ's AI title suggestions since it came out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's definitely not the same, but yeah, there's no reason to not get the free versions of those tools. So.
Yeah. If anyone has opinions on vidIQ features that are paid and you can't live without, put it in the chat.
Yeah, love to hear about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, anything else you want to cover?
Any more questions?
Speaking of affiliates and brands, how do I go about getting sponsored videos? You have a cooking and gardening channel, or do you just wait for brands to come to you? So I have had brands come to me. It's really on many channels. We haven't done a lot of work to actively pursue them, but we're kind of playing around with that right now. So
I think about the Preston Plays thing that you learned.
That was interesting. At Vid Summit, Preston Plays, he did this really good presentation talking about sponsorships. And one thing that he talked about was his formula for how much he should charge. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's obvious. But before that, I had never thought of it. So basically what he's doing is he's going, if you're monetized, your YouTube partner program, YouTube will tell you, here's what your CPM is over the last 30 days. And essentially that's how much it's costing for advertisers to put a video or to put an ad in your video, right? So that's how much literally a random advertiser is paying to put in a video. All the advertisers across that one video. Does that make sense? So if they show multiple ads, that's your total CPM, right? And that's the cost per 1,000 views. So you take that for your last 30 days and you take your average views over the last 30 days and multiply them together. And that's how much it would cost for an ad. And then there was another piece because you divide by something. I think it was how many videos you make per month. Oh, you add in. So what he does is he'll take the CPM times the number of total views on the wasn't total views on the channel. So I think it was like on your new videos or something.
Nathan has a picture of it. Maybe we can post.
Yeah, I have a picture of it too on my
yeah.
phone. And then, but you do want to add in a little bit more, just because it's like, if I'm doing an ad read in my video, it's probably going to be more effective or more impactful than just a random ad playing before my video. And then I think you divided it by like the number of videos per month or something. Maybe we'll make a video about sponsorships.
I think that'd
soon.
be good. Nathan remembers it very well. We talked about it on the YouTube, the Project 24 members podcast yesterday.
Okay.
And he's got that formula down.
Yeah, I had it down like a few days ago. Because we've had people ask to do sponsorships. I've been doing more of them on my other channel, and I was undercharging. I was charging like half of what I should have been charging. I'm like, gosh, I'm making more money just from the ads on that video in the first month than I'm making from the sponsor.
Yeah.
And it should be the other way around.
Crazy. Yeah.
So
yeah. And then we were said double, and the sponsor said, okay.
Mm-hmm. And that's for like an ad read, right?
Yeah.
Or like an insertion. If you're going to do a dedicated video for a sponsor, he's like 2 to 3 times that.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I was way undercharging.
Yeah, we know it now though.
Yep.
And
Nathan's doing some work on actively pursuing sponsors. So I think we'll be in a good position to talk about that experience soon.
And Tanner's working hard on it too. So
yeah.
Something we should talk about more on the channel for sure. Because
it
helps smaller channels get monetized. People don't realize this.
Yeah.
You've been around here long, you probably have heard us say this, but you don't need a lot of subscribers to get monetized. You did a 6-figure launch with 13,000 subscribers.
Yeah, just under 13,000. I've also got my channel now with 2,200 subscribers, and I'm already working with brands. So, and the first time that someone reached out to me and sent me free product to make video content about, that was the extent of the sponsorship. They didn't pay me in addition to the free product, but that happened before 1,000 subscribers.
And there were expensive stuff too.
Yeah.
So.
And I stopped accepting it because I was like I took the first one, and then after that I was like, I don't want my whole channel to be about reverse osmosis water filters. So I stopped, but been offered a fair amount of free stuff. That's a good start. But now I'm getting into more where I'm working closer with brands, which is pretty cool.
But we see people in Project 24 who are monetizing before they're monetizing the YouTube partner program. You don't need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours to start making some good money on your channel. I mean, people making just way more, like full-time income, when they have a few thousand subs instead of having to get these pennies for the ads. So ads are good too. Getting money from that.
Daniel says, do not wait for brands to come to you. Lots of brands are looking for small channels who have a loyal community, but don't know who you are. So find them. I think that's 100% right. So we'll try to brainstorm some good ways and test out some good ways to find the right brands, and then maybe how to approach them, because I think that's a big part of it. Because finding brands, I think, is great, because if you're in your industry, like, you know what products you want to promote, probably. Yeah. So that's not terribly hard. So now you got to figure out, how do I get in contact with them, and how do I present myself? How do I get in front of the marketing people there? Because if you're going to see their customer support email address, and you email them and they don't reply. So yeah, great questions.
My videos don't directly make any money being under 500 subs, but because of my filming and editing experience. Oh, that's cool. Freelancing, sweet.
Nice. Oh, tagging a brand and posting your videos. You know what, Daniel, that's a great point. And in fact, we've done some of that. Another thing we've done is on products that we like, sometimes what we'll do is we'll literally just test a product. Like, we'll just buy it on Amazon with our own money. We'll test it out. We'll kind of pick our winner or whatever. And then we've reached out directly to them, or we've had sometimes them come to us as a result of that, because you tag them, you mention them in the video, you tag them, whatever. That's a great point. Thank you, Daniel. Finding brands on LinkedIn. See, lots of great ideas. Mm-hmm. Love the collaboration.
Yeah.
Collaboration. Great. That's what we're all about. Yep. Find the brands. It's great. In fact, we just did that the other day with a backpack. the one that we kind of picked as a winner for a video, we reached out to them because we're like, hey, the backpack advertises it has these like, it has kind of top of the line zippers, but the zippers that came on our bag were not that brand. And we're like, did this change? And so Jake, my brother, he just reached out to them through their support people, and they looked into it and said, no, we changed the zippers before you bought that one. You should have gotten the one. So they're sending us a new one for free. And they sent us a discount code that can be used on Amazon for our audience. So like,
Sweet.
they can still just buy them straight on Amazon, but if they buy them through our affiliate link where we make a commission, they'll also get like 5% off.
That's so cool.
Yeah, all just because we reached out and asked. So do that. All right. Anything else you want to cover? More questions?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
think that's good. I think if you guys have features about questions, it is time to be done here. Questions about any more of those features. I know we didn't cover all of them very in depth.
Right.
But happy to
Yeah,
answer
post
them.
in the comments on the replay, and we'll make sure we cover that in upcoming videos.
I imagine we won't make a lot of videos about all the features, especially before
Right.
they're released, unless we have a more solid release date. We're going to be talking about the episodic thing for sure. So, and some of the other features too. Thanks all for being here.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Glad we were able to get, Waves and Games says glad that we got the audio fixed.
Yes.
The problem is we tried to use a good mic, and for some reason it was not picking up.
It worked last time.
It
We did a
worked.
live.
Next time.
What are you going to do? See you guys.
See ya.